Welcome back to the Vi Media channel. My name is Eric Brown. I am president here at Vi Media. Of course, we are a digital marketing agency and we specialize in everything marketing. And on this channel, we have a ton of videos about everything marketing related. And today, I wanted to take a deep dive into the Google business profile as far as rankings are concerned, and really how you, as a business owner, or even someone starting a new business, um, what should you be looking at? What tools are available to you in order to know how well your business is actually doing on Google? And I'll walk you through some of the things that we do here at Vi, or, just things that I do when I'm talking to prospects or even just, out at events and things like that. There's a few easy things that you can utilize, some programs, even some extensions on Chrome that make this very easy to do. So let's just say, for example, we all know how important the Google Business Profile listing is for those of you that have businesses that serve people locally. If it's you, providing services, providing products, whatever it is, if you want to be found by people searching for you locally, of course, the Google Business Profile is super important. And we've talked on this channel about reviews, generating reviews, how important that is. We've even talked about how to properly set up the Google Business Profile and what you need to do in order to get that approved. And of course, that's been changing continuously. Now we know that really, in order to do so, there's a few key things in order to do it, in order to get approved on Google. And if you do it the wrong way and you get suspended, it creates an absolute nightmare cascade effect with Google, because trying to figure it out with them, as I'm sure you guys know that have been through this process, is next to impossible. The customer service rating is a 1 out of 10. Um, so, in order to make sure that doesn't happen, of course, there's a few steps you need to take, and we have talked about those in previous videos. But when it comes to, locally, right, and a 5 or 10 mile radius around you, how well are people able to find your Google Business Profile? So, one extension that's super useful, it's just called GS Location Changer. So, what the GS Location Changer allows me to do is, if I'm talking to someone, obviously St. Louis is a big area, right? We have different townships and things like that. I don't always want to see how I'm ranking from my office in Maryland Heights or anything like that. I want to see how well I'm ranking if I'm searching in St. Peter's, O'Fallon, Chesterfield, Wildwood, right? These different areas. So GS Location Changer allows me to do that. And then what I'm able to do is get a lot better idea in all of these different areas how well the Google Business Profile is ranking, right? Because, of course, if your business is located, let's say in Chesterfield, well, you want people realistically to find you in, all the way out in, say, Wildwood and in Baldwin, in Manchester, in those areas. You want people to potentially find you all the way up to that 270 corridor of, like, De Pere, Kirkwood, Maryland Heights, Creve Coeur, those things. And then north, right? So then you're getting into like Cottleville, St. Charles, west, you're getting into like Lake St. Louis. So you can go to Lake St. Louis, for example, or you can go to Kirkwood and change it in your GS Location Changer extension. And you could look and go ahead, and if you're a landscaping company, for example, you can look at who's ranking super well in those areas. Not only the Google Business Profile, but of course, those are organic rankings as well. As we all know, organic rankings continue to kind of lose importance. The main reason, of course, they are important is, you still want to show up on the first page, but for a lot of home service companies and similar based companies, now you're competing with Google Guaranteed, Google Search Ads. Then, of course, under that, you're going to have the map section. And a lot of the time, you're going to have four on the map section because, one company is going to be advertising, and then you have the three ranking. And then underneath that, of course, you're going to have the 10 websites that are going to show up. One big thing that we do know that we talked about a couple weeks ago here on Marketing Monday is, the importance of continued SEO when it comes to the website, of course, to show up on Google. But number two is it's affecting how well you show up in ChatGPT or Grok or any similar LLM that people are using in order to search. Like if you're looking up best roofing companies St. Louis or in your area, a lot of the time it's going to be pulling directly from who's ranking well on organic and also in the Google business profile section. So we know that SEO is obviously important and is going to become more important as more people continue to search, those type of searches on, uh, ChatGPT and similar apps. So, with that said, GS location changer is something that is super important because you'll get a good idea of who's ranking well, right? And you can change it. You don't have to go to that location to see who's ranking. The other thing that we do is we use a program called BrightLocal, and this is also useful geolocation change if you're a business owner currently doing SEO and you're like, I don't understand. I'm only, okay, I'm being found in my office, but that makes sense because I'm sitting literally in the location that I'm searching from. Why am I not being low? Am I being found 5 miles down the road, from example? And you'll be able to do that with this extension. And of course, hold your marketing company or whoever is working on that responsible, or just so you have a good idea of, how well you're showing up. We also use a program called BrightLocal. There are similar programs associated with this, that are similar in nature. We've been using BrightLocal for a super long time. There's different monthly subscriptions and things like that, but I think you can just pay to use it once. Not entirely sure, but it's really not too expensive. Especially considering if you're spending money on monthly marketing, having programs like this that you're paying for, as long as it's being utilized and you're getting benefit out of it, it makes it super useful. What we do with this is we're able to see, specifically, in Bright Local, and this is how we do part of our audit process with the people that we're talking to, our prospects, is it's able to pull a ton of information as far as how well your company is ranking locally to where your Google business profile is at. So say for example, your business is located in Chesterfield. Well, that audit is directly going to be this program is directly going to see how well you're showing up in that specific area, from your organic listings, from the Google business profile. Also, it lets you know a lot of things about your website and how that's performing. It goes in detail on a lot of these things, and it's really useful. There's a lot of detail on it, as is with a lot of these marketing programs, of course, that you pay for or use. But there's a lot of benefit to be found out of a system like Bright Local, and of course, we use this for all of our clients, and we use it, as a way to set up a marketing strategy for some of our local clients as well, just because of all of the data that it's able to provide us in order to show how, not only how well are other people ranking, but, what are the issues that you are currently having with, say, your Google business profile, or your other relevant listings that we've talked about on this before, about citations and things like that, right? But when it comes to the website, a lot of people, and well, I've been harping about this for a while, is a lot of people don't understand how important it is just to set up a well SEO'd site. And the reason I bring this up is, even if it's a basic 10-page site with a home about, you got your 6 services on there, you got a couple different service areas, and you have a contact page. If you do it properly and you're in areas where there's not a lot of competition, or maybe even there is some competition, but they're not really performing very well. I'm talking about landscaping here this morning because I was working on a marketing strategy here beforehand for one of our clients, and I noticed that a website we built 5 or 6 years ago now, that we haven't touched since. It's been maintained as far as like being updated and things like that, but no content's been added, nothing's been changed. Natural lawn and landscaping is ranking pretty well out there in the St. Charles, O'Fallon, St. Peter's area. And of course, this is a website we built 5 years ago, and it's ranking pretty well. And for the investment that was made back then, because I know damn well we didn't charge enough for the work we performed, and probably still don't, but that's a problem for a different day. Um, the benefit you get from just being found, even say you're getting, 50 people a month to your website, and if you're a landscaping company, Obviously, you spending, say $10,000 one time in order to set up a website will probably easily pay itself off, especially if it continues to do so after, 5, 6 years of really nothing going on with it. So BrightLocal is super useful. Uh, you know, and then when it comes to really being able to some of the tools that we use internally, which I know I've talked about as well, you know, obviously you want to make sure that you're ranking well. You have these programs like GS Location Changer, like I was saying before. I've talked on here also about um, SEO Meta and One Click, which is an easy way to look at your website, your current website, or even competitor websites to see what type of page titles and header tags and descriptions and things like that that they have set up from a technical SEO standpoint. And then you can look at your website. And a lot of the time, this stuff is not set up properly. Just simply having a proper page title and header tag and things like this set up on your website, it's not like it's going to make make it 100% improvement, but it is definitely going to give you a large benefit over those companies that do not properly build sites. So, one tool that we use when it comes to ongoing marketing and really, looking at how well everything is working, we call it Vi Leads, but really what we're just doing is white labeling WhatConverts. WhatConverts is super useful as long as, of course, you set it up properly. It's not like you just buy it and all of a sudden you have all this data. You need to set it up. But what we're able to do with our clients is, we'll get hopefully we can get some overlays on this video so you guys kind of see what I'm talking about. But when it comes to what converts in our Vi Leads platform, we're able to see how all of that traffic is coming into the website and coming into the Google business profile. We want to measure every single call that comes into the business. We want to measure every single form fill, every single direction request, etc. And we want to know how they found us. Did they find us organically through the Google business profile? Were they directly searching for the business name? Did they find us organically and go to the website, right? Did they call off the Google business profile? All of these are different actions. Did they go to the website and fill out a form, right? How did they get to the website? Was that, did they click on an ad, back out, and then go to the website, right? Is it an ad lead? Did they convert on the landing page? That way you know how all of these things are coming into your business. Are you running meta ads? Did that come from Facebook or Instagram, right? Did it come from a referral site, for example? Did it come from, let's just say, Facebook organically, right? Someone just found you through Facebook. Did it come through Yelp? Did it come through these different referral platforms that someone's able to find you on, right? Bing and things like that. In that way, on a monthly basis, hey, or even weekly or even daily, depending on how much traffic you're getting and how large your business is where is my business actually coming from, right? Where is it actually coming from? Is it repeat business? Is it existing business? Is it relationships? How much is directly coming from ads? How much is directly coming from organic search when it comes through SEO? A lot of these times, these questions cannot and are not answered. And it's simply because it's not set up or you're not using tools in order to take advantage of the data that you could be getting. But I've talked about this and I harp about this, is that if you don't know how well you're performing and you're spending money on marketing, or you're about to spend money on marketing and you don't know how well you're performing, it's the same thing. You need to take a break and figure out exactly how you're performing now before you take any next steps. And of course, when it comes to having a marketing strategy on an ongoing basis, if you don't have this type of stuff set up, figure out why and set it up. Maybe it is set up and you just don't know. Hopefully that's the case. But, your marketing department or your marketing agency or whoever you're working with or even yourself, you don't know how well stuff is performing if you don't measure it. It's obvious, right? You don't know what you don't know. So, there are these tools available for free and some for very cheap. You also use things like Ahrefs, which is pretty useful. But there are these tools available. And it's important, even if you're a business owner, You don't have to be a pro when it comes to marketing, but you should be aware and you should be able to hold your marketing team and marketing, you know, executive, whoever it is, accountable for their job. And the only way to do that is to know what you're looking at and, of course, to be properly measuring how well everything is performing. Because you cannot make changes if you don't know what to make changes on, right? The campaign's not performing well. We need to make changes. Well, how do we know it's not performing well? Leads are down. Okay. Leads are down in the business, but we're not seeing if, SEO went down, right? For example, or you lost a salesperson and now the referrals that they used to get, the leads they used to get are now gone, right? If we're simply saying we're losing business, we don't know if it's coming from ads, from SEO. We have no idea. And we just had this conversation, last year with someone as we were starting to work with them. Is like, their analytics and everything was all over the place. They didn't have this stuff properly set up. So when we started working and we were, actually properly figuring out and tracking where all of these leads were coming from, and they were comparing it to, the previous year of marketing, when we have everything broken out into, hey, this was an ad lead from this campaign, right? This was SEO and this was organic. This was a direct search, just directly searching the business name. Whatever it is, and then, in their system that they're used to using, everything just goes under Google, right? Hey, found you on Google. Well, what does that mean? Google guaranteed, Google business profile, ad, right? Did you find us off a different website? So you need to have this stuff set up. Asking the person how they found you, sure, you should do that if you would like. But the best way to figure that out is to be properly tracking and measuring your monthly marketing through these programs I'm talking about. And that's all the time we have for today. So please like, review, subscribe, leave a comment, share. We appreciate everyone's support as always. Vi Media, reach out to us if you need any help. If you're just, have some questions, we're more than free to get on the phone, DM us, email us, whatever you'd like. And of course, we are always offering free marketing strategies. You can visit us at our website, vi.media. Thank you.